rocking the Moose Wars avatar there as well. I see that as we get into game number 1 on Small Fortress of Lions. And let's see how this Taros is from Dragy. It should be pretty cool.
AJ, I don't know if you understand what I mean when I say this, but I feel like watching Mordex versus Taros is watching two opposite kinds of base fight each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I almost kind of view it as different regions, right? Because we're kind of having this from like the skin that Dragy is kind of rocking reminds me of South America, and then we're kind of seeing this Mordex pick from North America. It's like different styles kind of going against each other, which is kind of interesting too.
I'd just be like the Shameless versus the Swagger. It's just like it's such a fun matchup, and Shade so far, the Swagger, definitely looking strong with that double sideline, able to catch that read. Getting Dragy down to their second stock here.
Yeah, Dragy's definitely trying to get Shade here, and Shade's being very aggressive in that neutral, and we're definitely seeing that. They're trying to do this neutral layer into a falling neutral layer, but they're not jumping right afterwards. But they are still able to get that dare option there on Dragy. Misses the second one, though, gets a little bit too aggressive. And then Shade's trying to land these attacks. Dragy takes advantage of that recovery frames with the dare. Gets the backward side air. Weapon throw from Shade lands, but Stomp Side from Dragy lands. He takes that platform, that map control, tries to take the neutral, misses that neutral light, and Shade's able to come in with the side light. This is the second one, though, but gets the neutral light, misses the signature, gets the side light, and throws the weapon light, picks up some gauntlets, and gets a side light into a signature that also misses. We're just seeing Shade throughout a lot of these attacks that are just not landing against Dragy.
Yeah, and especially in that opportunity where he almost had a knockout opportunity on the left, when he missed the reverse there, I think he literally just mistimed it by 1 frame, because if he turned around and then waited 1 frame before daring, he would have had enough momentum to catch him with that dare. I think he just pressed it a little bit too early. So it's insane with the precision of these players, how such small mistakes can make the world of a difference. And Shade able to punish side sig with a side sig of his own on the unarmed, and taking him down to his last stock. He tries to find that Sair, and Shade knows he has to be careful now. Any attack at this point could put him in a position or just straight up knock him out.
Yeah, I think Shade's playing a little bit too fast for Dragy to really be able to land those hits. We do see Dragy get that backward recovery KO on the Shade, making it 1 stock all, but I mean, Dragy was laying a lot of his axe attacks there, and he was able to kind of keep it more into his favor. But now as we go into his final stocks, we're kind of seeing Dragy try to take this neutral control, and is maximizing on Shade, missing these light attacks quite a bit, and we'll see what he can do with those. But as we go further, we're starting to see Shade take that control away.
Yeah, Shade doing a great job at maintaining stage control here against Dragy, which, I mean, if you're on Taros here for Dragy, the stage control is going to be super important for you to be able to find these combo starters on the axe and build up that damage. Shade able to find the knockout with that recovery. He kept control for all of that last stock, and that's going to be 1-0 on the board.
Yeah, and Dragy was doing pretty good against Shade in regarding his neutral control quite a bit. We did see Shade get, to a point where he was being overly aggressive, and there's a lot of recovery frames available, and Dragy did maximize on those quite well, but wasn't able to do it quite enough in that last stock. He was kind of having a rough time really getting that neutral control away from Shade, and Shade said, okay, I'm going to go with full stride. And Shade's, I think, light attack accuracy was 41 and threw out 76 light attacks, and also threw out 3 signatures and missed 2 of them. So Shade's got to be very, very careful with how he throws his stuff out, and also just maximize on Dragy's 38% accuracy.
For sure, but I mean, whenever Dragy was connecting those hits, whenever he was looking solid, he was able to make a lot of things happen. What it really comes down to, I mentioned it in the last talk. Oh, this is a good opportunity. Second dare comes out. Shade got the touch, though. It's still a lot of damage, so it's still going to be very good for Dragy here. Gets that dare too. So back to what I was saying, I think the deciding factor for Dragy should be his stage control. If he's able to take stage control from Shade, I think he should be able to win here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of damage build-up's done with the axe and the hammer with the platform control, especially Stomp Side Air with hammer, and then Side Light and the side air with axe as well. It does a lot of damage, and you don't need a whole lot of your attacks to land with Taros because he has such high damage, but definitely try to make sure they're accurate to a point where you can get the damage built up in the KO options. Because right now, Shade and Draggy just going flying around. We do see Draggy get that cider knockout, actually taking the lead in this game, number 2 here. And we'll kind of see what Shade can kind of do to really adapt to that. Make sure that he's not like over aggressing, not over moving closer, because Draggy's maximizing on that like crazy right now. It has Shade in the orange already.
I mean, I was about to say, I was about to question Draggy's option to go for the hammer there instead of sticking to the axe, but he is making magic happen on that hammer. Will get disarmed though. Shade is able to find that knockout with a hard D-light. Sticking to the side here. Will he set up the weapon starve? He tries to, but Draggy picks up this axe.
Yeah, I think maybe Draggy was like expecting to go back to axe. I think they wanted to go back to hammer. While they're still on that first stock that they had, they wanted to do as much damage build that they could with the secondary weapon, and then have the axe be the follow-up. Because this is where this is the weapon that does the damage and does the KOs usually for Draggy. But at the moment, axe currently is not working. It's keeping things even, but not giving Draggy the momentum advantage. And Shade's taking advantage of that with that scythe get set there. The GC neutral light into neutral air, and Draggy's down to that final.
GC neutral light into a reverse nair to finish things off was a super nice option by Shade there. Going to get knocked down to his final stock though with a quick stomp Sair. Draggy with the weapon advantage. It's gonna be that axe, and let's see what he's able to do on it. He finds that end light, goes in for the dare. Shade unable to find the punish, and he's gonna take some hits for it.
Yeah, for sure. Now Starlight does come into neutral light, into neutral air. We're seeing Draggy with the dare option there as well. Neutral light does come in. Then we're going to see, a lot of movement, a lot of back and forth. Starlight neutral light from Draggy. Weapon throw comes in, picks up that hammer. Now having a little bit of a KO opportunity here with hammer. Goes a little bit too early. Shade tries to maximize on that, but Draggy takes that map control and gets that stomp cider, and Shady is out of that final stock. And, looks like Draggy will be going ahead and taking that game into their name.
There it is, set all evened out, and Draggy is not done yet. Looking super good in that second stock, in that set game. And I've got to say, AJ, the biggest difference probably was on that hammer. His hammer was popping off. In the first game, it didn't have as much representation. Whenever he was on that hammer, it was looking a little bit rough around the edges. Yep. In the second game, he seemed to prefer it, and whenever he was on that hammer, he was performing quite well. I am interested to see the damage stats if we're gonna have time, because I see they're already loading into their new game.
Well, it's funny because
it's still so much axe.
Yeah, it's a lot of axe, but also Draggy's accuracy went up quite significantly. It went from that 30-ish% down to like a 48 or up to 48, which is really good. And then also just making sure that, you know, yes, he did a lot of damage buildup with the axe, but the hammer KOs is what made him have those advantages. But at the moment, though, we do see Shade taking neutral and map control, and that is what Draggy needs to have to be able to go ahead and take the lead. But now Shade's currently in there with gauntlets, is floating around quite a bit, going for some risky stuff, and we're seeing Draggy punish those, and he's just pre-firing a lot at the moment.
For sure, and I think going over to Miami Dome is definitely a map that I would tend to prefer Shade on. Of course, with gauntlets, you're going to have a slightly difficult time landing against Axe, and so having those platforms is going to be of great help. Shade making great use of those platforms thus far. You can definitely see that he is enjoying this map.
Yeah, and Shade's definitely not allowing for Draggy to be able to come back, and that downlight does come in clutch. You're seeing Shade really say, hey, you know, these platforms I can move around a little bit on, I can get my jumps back, but it also gives a little bit of opportunity for Draggy to knock off that ceiling of the map too. So we'll see what he can do with that hammer. But you're definitely seeing him have a little bit of a rough time compared to some other maps he's been on, but does launch Shade into the orange of that first stock, and Shade comes in with that nice 4-piece scythe combo instead there. Draggy is able to get the recovery though, and Shade gets knocked out of that first stock. But keep in mind, that was because Shade was over-aggressing.
Yeah, Shade got robbed there, I can't lie. It was looking so good, and then Draggy was able to shut it all down with just a single recovery. Now Shade on their new stock is already taking quite a lot of damage. Are they going to be able to find the knockout? They're not over-aggressing right now for that offstage, opting to go for an edge guard instead. Are they going to be able to catch the landing? The neutral signature comes out, but it's not going to be used properly. He's going to have to find it a little bit later. Still didn't take any damage for quite a while there.
Yeah, Shade definitely having the control on Miami Dome so far. Gets that neutral air. You're seeing Draggy try to take that map control. Gets that stomp side air. Might be able to get this KO, but misses that recovery, misses the GC neutral. Shade's missing a lot of these late attacks, and you know we're seeing Draggy miss a couple of them, and one's gonna land at one point. So Shade's gonna be very, very careful with how Draggy's playing. Like stuff like that will come out of nowhere and catch him off guard. And we're seeing that fantastic stomp side into that unarmed GC down like ground pound KO, making this thing one stock all.
Sticking to the axe now. Shade going to be able to pick up a pair of gauntlets though. Sidelight is going to whiff. Not able to find that punish. Gets hit by the end light. He's thrown off stage. But Draggy struggling to find that edge guard. Oh, that could have been so massive, but it's not going to be enough for the knockout. It was so close though.
Yeah, Shade's going to be very careful. He's going to go for that final recovery. He has to make sure it lands. He can't just pre-fire that. I mean, if he pre-fires it, it's so risky. And I think Shade realized that and then went back, expected Draggy to go ahead and go a little bit further down and got that recovery. Very nice job from Shade, but that was very, very close game and number 3. So, I mean, shoot, this could go either way going into game number 4, but you're definitely seeing Shade. I definitely think we're not going on Miami Dome anymore.
Yeah, that was the second map that Draggy banned, actually. So definitely didn't want to play that anymore. And we are getting into what could potentially be our match point here. Yet again, Shade versus Draggy. It's been a good set so far, and there's been a lot of back and forth. But Shade's looking to bring it home right now.
Yeah, for sure, and we're kind of seeing this back and forth here between these players. We're seeing Shade try to be a little bit aggressive off that ledge, expecting Draggy to follow him down there a little bit. That's going to allow for Shade to get that jump read on Draggy, but then also Draggy gets the double dare KO instead. Yes, he did not have a jump, but he was able to rebuttal very, very nicely and take that lead in game number 4.
There it is. You can't get caught slacking off stage like that against Draggy, man. He's gonna find those axe dares and he's gonna punish you hard. Now Shade on these gauntlets, a stock behind Draggy, and he keeps finding even more damage on this axe.
Yeah, for sure, and we're kind of seeing their cider coming from Shade. There we go. Draggy does get KO'd. He didn't have any more options coming back to that ledge because of how Shade KO'd him by keeping him in that air and not being able to get any more jumps or recoveries back. So now we're seeing Draggy on a clean second stock. Shade's going to try to do some damage buildup. Sidelight Dare comes in, tries to do a weapon throw downlight, but a downlight misses and allows for Draggy to get some punishes here.
Racking up even more damage here. Finds that D-light. Very nicely placed. Shade able to get that landing, but Draggy is going to find that neutral light. And look at that, Draggy doing such a good job at maintaining stage control here, and he just keeps finding these winning plays in the neutral.
Yeah, we're seeing Shade take this neutral control away from Draggy, take the map control. Draggy's been able to go ahead and try to do some counters there. Almost got punished pretty easily, but Draggy gets neutral aired. Shade's trying to do that weapon throw, trying to weapon start Draggy, goes over to the scythe, but Draggy's also not too bad with some unarmed gameplay too. Picks up axe instead though, he has the range. Shades has to make sure he gets this punish now or else it might be in favor of Draggy here. And Draggy gets that side air, and that's what I was talking about.
It's going to be the knockout. Draggy sticking to the axe here. Going to see if they can find any damage build-up onto Shade here. The Game 5 dream is still alive, AJ. Draggy able to find some good couple of hits here, taking Shade down into yellow. He's looking for a sidelight, he's looking for a downlight, he's looking for anything to get a combo started. Gets the Seer to knock him off stage, so that's actually going to be enough. Very nice stray hit found by Shade.
Yeah, and right now we're kind of seeing Shade kind of trying to make things a little bit better for themselves here, trying to win the set 3-1. But if you're Draggy, you want to make it go into a game number 5. You're seeing Draggy have that axe neutral light. He's going to take that map control again. He's going to try to do these down lights here and there. Does get the dare down light, but does not KO. Shade maximizes on this 4-piece combo, but then the weapons are using down light in the crowd. Now lands. Shade. Draggy is making this go into a phenomenal game number 5, and that's the way to go ahead and do that coming out of Draggy. Phenomenal job with that offense control. Wow!
Incredible last stock from Draggy. I want to see this on the replay again. Able to, yet again, I feel like Draggy, one of his main strengths is like just exploiting and capitalizing super well off of super small mistakes.
Silent dare, or ground pound into dare, and then GC down light into ground pound because he used all of his jumps to come back to that ledge. Shade got a little bit risky. He got impulsive with his jumps. Dang, that was awesome coming out of Draggy, though. But we're going to game number 5 between Shade and Draggy, and we'll see kind of what happens. But, I mean, now we're on in the Western Air Temple. You have 2 platforms to worry about. This might actually benefit Shade.
In so many encounters where Draggy is winning, it's like the only thing that's making him win is like one weapon throw or one axe dare. But the thing too is like you gotta find those, and you can't hesitate for even a single frame if you want to be able to capitalize off of those moments. And Draggy is just consistently able to exploit those mistakes to the fullest. And I think Shade might have to be a little bit careful here. Draggy could make a pretty nasty upset here, man.
He could for sure. It all comes down to this final game for both these players. You're seeing Shade trying to prove himself to go ahead and get his first top 8 on the elimination side, but you also see Draggy just being that guardian of basically the rest of the bracket for him. And Draggy actually gets that signature KO with the hammer and knocks Shade already down to that second stock within what, like a minute-ish? Yeah, within exactly a minute.
Shade on the side though, able to equalize quickly, and he's gonna have that weapon advantage now whenever Draggy is spawning back. He's able to find that on a hammer very, very quickly though. Able to pick up a dodge. Is he gonna find something big? He needs to be careful of that hammer recovery, and he knows it. He didn't want to go for anything massive when he saw that Draggy started fast falling.
Oh, I don't think he meant to taunt, but I think he accidentally taunted there. And now we're seeing Shade.
Might be a controller player.
Maybe. I definitely I think he is actually a controller player too. So now we're seeing that one attack hit. Neutral light lands, misses the follow-up option, gives Dragon an opportunity to attack, but he misses. 2-piece hits from Shade. Nice neutral layer as well. Just trying to do something, but this out there, throws it away, picks up Scythe again. Trying to outspace that hammer, but Stomp Cider does come in clutch. Can Shade go ahead and control a little bit more Dragon without being too aggressive or throwing those light attacks out too quickly? And Dragon maximizes on that because Shade's throwing these light attacks out and they're not landing.
Yeah, Draggy in the lead here for the second stock. Shade able to pick up those gauntlets though. Dare is gonna find its mark. D-Light will too, and he is getting this chip damage. You can't be taking these hits, Shade. You need a stock and you need it right now. Sidelights here.
Yep, nice dare coming in from Draggy. Oh, Shade missed that sidelight and Draggy punished him. The neutral comes in, but the recovery comes in instead. One stock. Oh, it's going to be down to the wire. Can Shade bring this back? Will Draggy win over Shade? 3-2. Shade trying to leave his mark, but Draggy trying to stop him. Stomp Cider comes in. It might be down to the wire here for Shade. Shade trying to do something, but Draggy gets 3-piece, and now it's in the yellowish orange. But that Cider comes in from Draggy. And there you have it. Draggy beats Shade 3-2 to advance further into that bracket by maximizing on those recovery frames of Shade. And what a way to do that.
Super, super even game. Going down to the very wire in the 5th game. And Draggy, what a show he was able to put on. Still able to come out on top with yet again a pretty nasty upset, AJ. That's going to be PR 48.